You were taught that saving cash means you are being responsible. You work hard, spend less, and keep watching the number grow. And for a moment, it feels like you are finally getting ahead. But then rent rises, food rises, fuel rises, and life quietly gets heavier. The money is still there, but somehow it feels smaller. That is the part nobody explained to you clearly enough. Look at Warren Buffett. His power was never just cash, it was ownership. Look at Elon Musk. His wealth was tied to companies, not a savings account. Look at Jeff Bezos. The fortune came from building and owning systems. Millionaires do not hate cash. They hate cash sitting still. Because cash feels safe, but too much idle cash can become a trap. You think you are protecting your future, but your future is moving faster. Millionaires understand something most people learn too late. Cash is not the finish line. Cash is a tool. It is meant to open doors, not sleep forever in a drawer. And once you see the difference, money starts looking completely different. This story begins where most financial advice ends, not with how much cash you save, but what your cash becomes. Because the rich are not playing a cash game, they are playing an ownership game. You start with the same dream millions of people have. Spend less, save more, be disciplined, avoid stupid mistakes. And honestly, that advice is not wrong. Without discipline, you never build the first pile of money. Saving teaches you patience. It teaches control. It proves you can say no when the world screams buy now. But saving is only the first chapter. The mistake is thinking the first chapter is the whole book. Millionaires do not stop at saved cash because cash alone does not multiply. It waits, it shrinks, it asks for direction. You save cash because it makes you feel safe. And when life is unstable, that feeling matters. Emergencies are real. Losing your job is real. So yes, you need cash for protection. But protection is not the same thing as growth. Some people try to build their entire future out of cash. Then they wonder why the walls keep getting weaker. Cash can protect you today, but it cannot carry every tomorrow. Millionaires use cash like a bridge. They cross it. They do not live on it. The first enemy of idle cash is not drama. It is not a villain in a black suit. It is the silent thief called inflation. Inflation does not steal your dollars directly. It steals what your dollars can actually do. 1 year feels small. 10 years can change everything. You do not notice it day by day. You notice it when your savings no longer feel powerful. That is why millionaires do not worship cash. They move it before time eats its strength. Think of every dollar as a soldier. A soldier without orders just stands there. It looks safe, but it is not winning anything. Millionaires send their dollars into missions. Some dollars go into businesses. Some go into assets that may produce income. Some stay nearby for defense and opportunity. The difference is intention. Poor money waits for permission. Wealthy money gets assigned a job. One afternoon you walk into a bank feeling proud. You finally saved more than you ever had before. You expect the banker to say, "Congratulations, you made it." But instead, something feels strange. The bank does not make money by letting cash sleep. The bank takes idle money and puts it to work. Your cash becomes fuel for someone else's system. And that is when the uncomfortable question hits you. If they use cash this way, why are you letting yours sit? That question changes the rest of the story. The map is simple, but most people never study it. First, you earn cash, then you protect enough cash, then you convert extra cash into ownership. Ownership is where wealth starts breathing. A paycheck can feed you, but ownership can feed you again and again. Cash is a bucket. Assets are a river. Millionaires still use the bucket, but they care more about the system filling it. That is the first mental shift. Saving cash alone can feel like running on a treadmill. You try harder, but the scenery looks the same. Every month, expenses take their cut, so you work more hours. Then life finds more ways to charge you. You are not lazy. The model is limited. The wealthy do not just run harder. They build systems that keep moving after they stop running. That is why cash must become something larger. The goal is not more cash. The goal is more control. There is a type of saving that looks smart but feels lonely. You protect the money so hard that you never use it. A chance appears, but fear speaks first. What if you lose it? What if you are wrong? So you keep the money safe and let the moment pass. The pile is still there, but your life did not expand. Millionaires are not fearless. They just understand risk differently. Sometimes the risk is doing nothing. Idle cash has a cost, even when it looks harmless. Cash comfort is dangerous because it feels peaceful. You feel safe, so you stop questioning the plan. But comfort can quietly become a cage. You do not want to invest. You do not want to build. You tell yourself you are waiting for the perfect time. But the perfect time keeps changing its address. Millionaires do not wait for perfect. They prepare, they learn, and then they move carefully. They know cash is most powerful right before it transforms. That transformation is where wealth begins. The first machine you need is cash flow. Cash flow comes from solving problems for other people. Most people spend the first cash flow upgrade immediately. A better phone, a nicer car, a bigger image. But you are building something different now. You divide cash before emotions touch it. Some cash keeps you alive. Some protects you. The rest must eventually be deployed, not randomly, not desperately, strategically. Because money without direction becomes temptation. The second machine is ownership. Ownership means you hold a piece of something that can grow. It may be a business, an asset, a skill platform, or property. The important part is that it is not only your time working. Time income stops when you stop. Ownership has the chance to keep producing. This is why millionaires do not let extra cash sit forever. They ask, what can this become? Cash is the seed. Ownership is the tree. And the fruit can create more seeds. This is the loop millionaires understand. Earn cash, protect cash, deploy cash, collect returns. Repeat. The loop is not magic. It is behavior repeated for years. Most people live in a different loop. Earn, spend, panic, borrow, repeat. The difference is not just income. The difference is conversion. Millionaires convert money into machines. Then the machines create more money to convert. That is how wealth stops depending on one paycheck. Here is the plot twist. You were not wrong to save. That advice probably protected you at one point. It taught you not to be reckless. But old advice can expire when your goals grow. At first, safety means having cash. Later, safety means having systems. Systems that earn, protect, adapt, and recover. Cash is still part of the system. It is just not the entire plan anymore. You must understand the difference between liquidity and hoarding. Liquidity is money ready for a purpose. Hoarding is money frozen by fear. They can look similar from the outside, but one has a job and the other has an excuse. Emergency cash protects your dignity when life hits. Opportunity cash helps you move when others freeze. Hoarded cash just watches life happen. Millionaires keep cash ready, not worshipped. Ready cash is powerful. Lazy cash is expensive. But let's be honest about why people hold too much cash. Sometimes cash is not about math. Sometimes cash is emotional armor. You keep it because you remember what broke you, and that deserves respect, not judgment. But healing is not the same as hiding. At some point, the money that protected you must empower you. You do not have to rush. You just have to stop confusing fear with wisdom. That is where the next version of you begins. Every time extra money enters your life, you face 3 doors. Door 1 says, reward yourself immediately. Door 2 says, hide it forever. Door 3 says, make it useful. Millionaires usually choose the third door. They turn cash into tools, teams, systems, assets, and leverage. Not because they are reckless. Reckless money is not wealthy money. They move because they have studied the move. Confidence comes from preparation, not fantasy. Once your mindset changes, the world looks different. You stop asking only, can I afford this? You start asking, can this help me produce? Some spending is consumption. Some spending is investment in capacity. Millionaires look through that lens constantly. Will this dollar disappear, or can it come back with friends? That question changes your behavior. You become less impressed by looking rich. You become more interested in becoming powerful. Then comes the moment that tests everything. Markets drop. Clients disappear. Prices change. Everyone who only wanted comfort starts panicking. But you are not standing there empty-handed. Your liquidity protects you from desperation. Your plan keeps you from selling at the worst moment. And your opportunity cash lets you see what fear hides. This is not about being brave for attention. It is about being prepared when the room loses its mind. That is when cash becomes a weapon instead of a pillow. So what should you actually do with cash? First, protect yourself. Keep enough cash so one bad month does not destroy you. Second, remove toxic pressure. Money cannot grow well when panic keeps eating it. Third, build earning power. Your first major asset may be your ability to earn more. Fourth, deploy extra cash with a plan. Not randomly. Not because the internet yelled at you. Every dollar needs a mission before emotion gives it one. Now return to where this story started. The same cash is sitting in the drawer, but you are not the same person holding it. You no longer see paper. You see options, tools, protection, and future machines. Some cash stays close because life is unpredictable. Some cash stays ready because opportunity is unpredictable too. But extra cash cannot be allowed to sleep forever. This is the difference between saving money and building wealth. Saving is the beginning. Ownership is the transformation. Millionaires never save cash as the final goal. They save for defense, for timing, and for opportunity. Then they push the rest into motion. Because money in motion has a chance to become power. And this is where you must be honest with yourself. Are you saving because you have a plan? Or are you saving because fear is making every decision? There is no shame in starting with fear. But do not let fear become your financial compass forever. Build protection. Build income. Build ownership. Repeat the loop until money no longer controls your breathing. That is what freedom starts to feel like. Not piles of paper. Not numbers sitting quietly on a screen. But choices that keep working after you stop working. So the next time you save money, ask the better question. Not how much do I have? Ask, what is this cash becoming? Because millionaires do not simply save cash. They turn cash into systems, and systems into freedom.